What up, everybody? Nigerian Lucas, we're back this week to talk about Power Book 2. This is our review of episode 4, Prince. Before we get started for tonight, because there's a ton to talk about. Lou, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. Hey, man, I got energy tonight. Y'all couldn't tell, but I was dead to the world last week, man. and Power just pulled me through. But tonight, I got energy. I got so much energy from this episode.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot. I mean, this was a very inclusive episode. We're clearly going to break that down. But on another note, this was an episode where since like everybody was tapping in on that sex contract clause.
Man, I mean, I don't know. Everybody got it in this episode. Damn.
Yeah, and then not to mention too, there's a bunch of cheating going on. So a bunch of different things we're definitely going to be talking about. I mean, shit, thinking about the sex contract part, Paula and David got in there. I don't know if
from that just came out of nowhere.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, I know we've been like really deep diving on the details for these episodes, but I under no circumstance did I get the impression that it was going to happen in the way that it did. First of all, David taking his ring off, and Paula trying to have this moral compass about how they run in the case, but then they're
sleeping with him afterwards.
Yeah. So good for Shuri and Method Man for tapping in on that sex contract clause. No one's exempt.
Hey, only one is Murray.
Yeah,
they ain't getting married. They got meth, but they ain't getting married.
Hey, you called that for starters. You said meth was definitely going to be a casualty.
Yeah, you getting Murray. Murray, like not a chance, not a chance.
Oh man. So yeah, let's get into this episode. I'm gonna start from the top of the episode and get all the way through this. So the first thing we saw when we got into this episode, more or less saw and heard, was Monet and her rules with Tariq. Now, Monet, we talked about it last week about this wanting to position herself as like the dominant person.
Yeah.
And instantly whenever anybody is imposing their rules on somebody, and especially having them stated, like that's a super power move. That did nothing for Tariq, and it really didn't do nothing for the two of them together. It had everything to do with her there.
Yes, that was her just inserting herself again. I mean, she needs him to know how powerful she is and that she's running everything. And it just reinforced it. Like, again, as you said, you only state rules to people under you. And for people that you need to know, you're under me and you'll always be under me. These will be the rules you will follow. And that's what it was. Again, it was the position.
Yep.
It was just positioning being played.
Yep. Now, a very interesting take, and I think we're going to spend just a little bit more time on this, is we get introduced to a new character, Sebastian, aka Bash, who is married to Simon Stern, the last time we talked about anything with his marital status, had a wife. And he had an off-season account. So we know Simon is about his money, but you would think after the whole situation with his wife, he wouldn't even get into something like this unless it made sense. So two things we learned about that is that Simon is obviously bisexual. He likes younger people.
Of course, most people in power do.
Yep. Yeah. His wife is older. We know that because he had the younger girls in the club. So like Simon's not loyal to nobody. So the real thing to really identify here has nothing to do with sexuality, but it has to do with his financials. Why did Simon make this move? Because anytime he doesn't move, it has something to do with financial. So I am curious to know, what do you think is to happen? And before you answer that, I have got to say, if this is some type of repositioning to move Simon Stern off the show as a permanent reoccurring character, I don't like it. Because we were just getting more of him. We were literally getting a character of him. Like, we've always known what he did, but like the first 2 episodes, we were actually getting more substance with Simon. And I just don't like this automatically if this is what's happening with that.
It feels like that's exactly what's happening here. And it's because I'm assuming that Simon is still connected to old power. And they want a new character of that nature to be connected. And that would be bringing in this character to be connected to Tariq more than Simon being connected to Tariq and his father. I think that's part of it. As it plays for a power move for Simon, because he never does anything without a motive to do it. This guy seems to be extremely well versed in tech. I wonder, could that be Simon's play?
And
that's the guy so well versed in tech, and it's nothing like diversifying your portfolio.
I was just gonna say, because like when you think about this, like practically, older people do not modernize. So the idea that Simon may be keen to this because he sees this as like a way of financial growth in the digital era of something he's not accustomed to. I mean, he's used to backdoor money and business deals on the street levels of New York, that now that the big players in New York are gone, maybe this is a way to kind of recoup things. So if that's the case, that could be interesting, but I don't care. If this removes Simon off of the show, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. As sleazy as Simon is, he's one of the most moral compass characters on here. When I say moral compass, I mean in the state of viewers. Like when you see Simon, his character pretty much depicts the ramifications of everything that's going on. A little, if you don't know or not, like if you can't put 1 and 2 together, Simon character is there to say like, this is what's happening, folks. And in lamest terms, like forget all the legal terms, forget all the financial terms. Simon is saying, you can't do this with your money because this and that. Like he breaks it down, and I enjoy that character. And we got that in Power. So in Power Book 2, we were actually getting more of a character behind him, a personality. And now like that was a teaser for me. It was an appetizer and like you know what I mean? But moving on, talking about tech now, I need to know, where did Tariq get so damn smart? Like we progressively seen him grow, but this app idea is monumentally genius. Like
we always got to keep in mind, like he's gone to the best of the best schools. Tariq has never been an idiot, ever. He's made what we consider dumb street decisions. But what this show is highlighting more than anything is like, but as it pertains to book smarts, the kid is off the charts. He knows exactly how things work. And that app idea was ingenious to set it up. Jeez, man, it's amazing. So at this point, I don't doubt the kid's intelligence in any facet. This show has only thing this show has done is highlight more of that aspect of Tariq. Like when James said it, like the goal would be for you would be a better me. And right now he's coming up as a new and improved version of Ghost.
He's running an app. Just in case anybody doesn't know, he's running a tutoring app, and the tutoring app is providing real tutoring services. That's what you choose, but it exposes you to people who are financially good. But it also, if you know anything about recreational drugs, even the smartest people use it. So it puts them in contact potentially with buyers of drug, and then they got different tiers. I mean, it's truly genius.
If I'd have had this when I was in college, y'all know how hard it was to get things that you wanted while you was in college. If I could have went to an app and got, man,
this is crazy. Speaking of this, I wasn't even going to say this yet, but speaking about being in college, I maybe you can tell me if your campus was any different than mine, but coming from an HBCU, I can tell you wholeheartedly, it was almost virtually impossible for visitors to just come on campus, especially in dorms, in the rate that people were coming in. I mean, you had to be checked in like it was Fort Knox. Drew comes in all willy-nilly. Diana comes in all willy-nilly. I'm like,
hell, Monet came in all willy-nilly. Like, it's everybody. Hey, look. First, I went to HBCU too. Of course, that didn't happen. But I also happened to be in vicinity of Maryland University where, that's the case. Like, I was able to go to campus parties, campus things, and no one asked a question about why I was there, including some classes. And no one asked a question. Like, it's the weirdest thing in the world to me.
But see, that's the thing, because like even with Maryland, you can't even sometimes at certain times you can't even get onto campus without going through a checkpoint. So like,
that's at night. Like at the nighttime hours, you can't. But I guess that's the smart part.
Yeah.
All they've shown them is coming on campus during the day.
True. And I was just gonna say, and I'm not here to nitpick, but I'm just mean like the way how they just like go on campus. I was like, dude, that was a struggle back in the day. I mean, you legit had to set up a strategy of like, yo, what are we gonna do when we get to the gate? Like when they say like, do you go here? No one got a student ID. Like it was a whole thing.
Hey, look, I would hate to sound old because listen, me first getting on campus, I'm coming close to that being 20 years ago. So I don't know what has changed since I was first getting on college campuses. So I mean, the world has changed since then.
Clearly. So talk about the title of this episode, Prince, which obviously speaks about the book, The Prince, that they spoke about in one of the lecturing classes. Now, I'm gonna obviously, something if anybody who's been following us from our power reviews, we kind of like to highlight the title. We kind of got away from it just a little bit, but I think this was interesting because I can't necessarily nail it on this one, but I'm definitely ready to entertain conversation with it. But so the book, the one thing I got from the dialogue from what they were saying was like the most important lesson from the book is about destroying your enemy at once. And Tariq kind of counters that with saying like, well, it's about getting what you want in the most efficient way. So obviously there's different meanings, or people can articulate the book differently, as we've seen with Lauren Parents, who kind of saw it different as well too. I instantly find I find some correlations with this book and the things that was being said with Jabari, which is weird. I'm telling you, I got true hate for the character Jabari, but like I find a lot of what he was saying is a reflection of who he is, and I think that's very much on par with the type of character he is, being a narcissist and all, but also up and down the board degrading everybody to position himself to be the superior person, and he operates recklessly, and it's toxic. It's a weird character that I'm just not fond of. But like when it comes down to the things, either if you know the book or from what you heard, how do you kind of articulate what's like truly the most important lesson from this book?
First, from the title, I gleaned it first before they even got into the discussion of the book. I kind of thought it would focus way more on the kids, the aspect of the kids, Kane, Drew, and Tariq. And even after we get to the point of Tariq explaining the book versus even the way the mother explained the book, if you pay attention, one kind of explained Drew and the other one, and Tariq kind of explained himself.
Yeah.
Of not waiting to position your power. Like taking it over, noticing that as long as a threat is out there, you need to handle that threat and move forward. That's the way Tariq was raised. The other aspect of the book, the way Lauren's mom described it, is kind of the way Drew was raised, of waiting for things to happen and then reacting to the situation. So that's why I gleaned both of them for the Prince aspect of it. Granted, again, I thought at first it had just to deal with the hierarchy of a kingdom and how the kids will always be the prince of anything. And I thought it would glean more than that. But then in the end, that's what it does glean more off of. Now, I understand your connection with Jabari and his ways, but I didn't.
It's crab in a barrel mentality.
It gets worse. I mean, his interactions with Lauren were
super
sickening.
Toxic. Super sickening. Like,
oh my goodness. Like,
I'm sorry. In the comments right now, if you're listening, please, if you are a fan of this character, like, let me know how is that virtually possible. But if you're not feeling him, I'm pinning tweets. I'm loving him. Go all out on this man, because I'm not a fan at all. Like,
and I don't think there's nothing, because there's going to be some women who may just like the sex scenes. We get that. We understand that part of it. But as a character, he is sickening as a character, Joe.
Yeah, no redeeming for me thus far.
Hey, like I tried a couple episodes ago when it's pointed with Tariq and the paper, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's it. But nah, he's a. I'm trying to search the word that they call Jada Pinkett Smith for the entanglement. That's
a predator.
A predator. That's what he is. He's a predator. He's a predator.
Lord. Talk about the dinner really quick too. So obviously, they spoke about the fellowship in class, and the fellowship was an opportunity for a student to get college credit upon doing a fellowship in Washington, D.C. So before I actually finish breaking this down, whenever you start talking about different locations, as a fan, you start thinking like, well, how does this kind of intertwine with spinoffs, or how do they do that? I mean, the last time somebody was in DC was when they had what was her name? Not Yo-Yo. What was her name? The cop? With Kanan and
oh shit. Yeah, his cousin.
Yeah. What is her name?
Oh, I can't remember.
It'll come in a minute, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The cop from DC, Ray and Kanan. Ray and her were in DC doing their thing, blah 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 blah. So that's the first time we got a DC reference. The second thing now is that DC's another city potentially that they can use for location. Not that I think we're going to get it in this series, but like considering that Tariq possibly could end up in DC could be interesting for things to come in the future. But as we focus on this is a means for Tariq graduating 3 years or 1 year early, so only doing college for 3 years and getting the money early, which automatically raises his eyebrows. I mean, there's no other reason he would do this besides the idea of being able to get his will money early. However, it puts him in competition with Lauren, this girl that there's clearly energy between the two of them. There's a little bit of circumstance. But like they're playing a little bit of tug of war, but I'm feeling it. It's pretty cool. But going back to that dinner really quick. Now I knew 100% the profile that we're getting with Lauren. I knew 100%. Soon as she said step away from, we'll come out to the dinner in a minute. But soon as she said step away, I knew she was gonna kiss him. But we already knew that Lauren had a boyfriend in DC, as we heard in the class early in the episode. So Lauren kissed Tariq, which is the first act of cheating for the day. And I knew right away. I said, watch he end up coming. And sure enough, Malcolm made that 4-hour drive unannounced.
Because it ain't a short one. No, it wasn't announced. Her mom set it up.
Oh, okay. But
her mom set it up.
Okay, well, unannounced to Lauren.
Yes.
So
she didn't know.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's supposed to be sort of motivation for Lauren to, want to do better to get this or whatever. But either way, like that, I don't know what to make of it right now. I mean, Malcolm came in like a Bama, and he definitely said Bama is a DMV lingo for anybody who don't know. He came in like a cold Bama and like I've never ever in the world ever heard a guy purposely call another guy a wrong name like the way Malcolm did. That is cold-blooded right there.
Was it a Bama? Because he didn't know who Tariq was. He
could have asked.
Hey, Jamal.
Dog, he could have asked. Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Normal people do say, now hold up. No, I'm gonna throw him some bail here. Normal people may ask, but once you like just the projection of Malcolm told me he wasn't going to be the person that asks. He was going to assume, like, and he just assumed, like, oh, so you're the little high school kid, Jamal. I said, oh man,
my man Tariq did exactly what I would have did, and I'm out, bro. That's the end of this dinner for me. I'm good.
Like I don't want to talk to none of you no more.
I'm real good. This whole family thing is good. Though, can I ask the other most important question? Now, I'm sorry, maybe I'm outdated, but when was it ever a norm for people to invite their professors over for dinner?
Never. Well, I don't know. I again, maybe it's the different type of schools we went to. We're not inviting professors over. One, I don't want you in my house. I barely want to be in your class. I don't want you in my house. But I think this is a different setup because of the stuff with the fellowship, the way this is an Ivy League school. So the setup is a tad bit different than in HBCU, where you would never get that type of personal interaction with your professors.
Yeah, but also, right. And if it was to come to this, it would more than likely be the dean of the office. It wouldn't.
Just nowhere. It
would not be no random professor.
I don't need to impress you. Like you have a pulse. I need to impress that person.
I was just gonna say one who's involved with the class and one who's pseudo involved. Like what? Yeah. Like, no, I was like, okay, this is
it makes little sense, but it made for really good television because that table 100%. Conversation was the most awkward conversation from every angle. From Tariq clearly arriving at dessert time, and them saying he on CP time.
Yeah, and then Jabari trying to give an explanation of. I'm sorry. Let me not say explanation. He tried to give a thesis statement of the history of the word CP time. Like, I was like, bro,
extra for no reason. Extra for no reason.
It's like I don't understand him. He is by
right there. He was right there in that moment. He was like Monica at the versus battle with all the Fendi, just super extra for no reason. And it was like, dog, if you just don't shut up, we don't care.
You know what's crazy to me? I don't know who's trying to act black more, Braylon or Jabari. I don't get Jabari. It. It's definitely Jabari. Yeah. My man is like, I got the history of what CP stands for and all this hoopla, and then he gets out talk about I want black love like that. Like Jesus Christ, dude! Like, dude, no,
he wants black love like that after attempting to sleep with their daughter.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He's like, you can't have it both ways, man.
He give it. I was going to say this, but never mind. But he's giving me like a particular rapper that I'm not even going to name vibes with his personality. I'm not even going to go there right now. That's all I'm gonna say. Coming back to early in the episode, really quick again. That dinner was just absolutely awkward. I don't know if there's enough emphasis on it, but I love
the respect Tariq gained from Lauren's mother with his response. Because, or even starting off by saying, well, this should be short enough for you to read. Mm-hmm. And then the moment he said, no, I've read it a couple times already, that threw them off.
Yeah.
Completely threw them off. And then when he named the different schools and the dad tried to, well, how often do you transfer? At that point, you're trying to get back at him because at this point, you clearly see he's a much bigger threat to your daughter getting whatever you think she's going to get than you thought.
Just curious. I wonder how they knew all that information. Oh, Jabari must have got there bright and early to air this dude out, huh?
Hey, of course he did. Of course, come on, we already know.
Absolutely, we already know. Absolutely, record. And
Carrie had his second book that no one read.
Exactly. Carrie was. I'm talking about. Carrie was Barry Bonds swinging for the fence on this dude.
As the young kids say, she had time today.
Yes, he did. Lauren was sipping all the tea over there.
Hey, she was just like, okay. Even the mother was looking like, oh, y'all doing this here? Okay.
Oh my God! All right, I'm gonna bring it back to earlier in the episode. So Kane and Monet, they go pay the GTG a visit, and Kane beat the hell out of this dude. Monet gave him respect. Now, there's a lot to make about Kane and Monet, and we talked about it last week, but this episode really put some things in that. So Kane is nothing but a hitter that Monet can depend on. Yep. And if hitter doesn't resonate with you, he's a muscle. When you go do a job, that's what he does.
He's Tommy.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say he's Tommy, and I know people want to make that
early Tommy. Think about early Tommy. Early Tommy.
I don't even know what I give. I don't even know what I give that because Ghost even respected Tommy in handling decisions. Monet clearly said that you don't make decisions. She don't respect his decision making. She don't.
I think it's because they're dynamic. I think it's because that's still a mother-son.
It doesn't
power struggle dynamic. If you look at the respect of why I will say he's not Tommy's character, but the characteristics are there.
Yeah, I mean he's a thug.
Yeah, look at his interactions with his brother. That's a different interaction than it is with Monet.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like Monet does not respect anything mental with Kane. Kane is there to pull the trigger and throw some hands. And she just, I mean, to be honest, she kind of, I won't say disrespect him. I initially was going to say that, but she just kept it blunt. She said, dude, you got a role. You play that. You're not making decisions. That's not your part, bro.
You know what throws it off when I compared him to Tommy, and you say, well, it's because Monet doesn't respect him. Like Ghost respected Tommy.
Yeah.
But take Monet to the next level. Monet isn't a Ghost type character. She's a Jason type character. She's the head. She ain't paying no attention to nobody below her. She knows she has a structure in place for the people that she think can operate a certain way. So to her, Drew is that person. Drew is the Ghost type character. He's the smart one. He's going to be the one that's going to make the decisions. The way Jason saw Tommy the same way. He said it repeatedly that Tommy was a blunt instrument.
Yeah, but I also don't think they ever excluded Tommy from decisions. Like, of course, Ghost is the safer choice, but I don't ever feel like, hey, Tommy, you're an idiot. You don't speak on this.
They didn't.
First of all, Jason. I feel like Jason looked at Ghost as more of somebody you can monopolize over outside of it. So,
but that's what I mean. But then when you throw in the mother aspect of it, she kind of know her kids. Like, I think we know and established that Kane is the muscle.
Yeah,
that's his job.
Yeah, I don't want to go the easy out just saying he's Tommy, because that's all people are doing online is just trying to connect the vectors here.
What they're looking at is saying like his character will never move like Tommy. His character will never act like Tommy. I look at characteristics of characters and know that certain characteristics of it. Beyond him being a street dude, it's the aggression part of it.
Yeah.
He's aggression
hothead.
He's aggression before thought.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't think. It's just that you aggression before thought.
Yep.
That's Tommy. Tommy was always aggression before thought.
Totally agree. Unless love gets involved. And we haven't seen Kane with a love interest, so that it could be something at some point.
I think that's where the complete separation will happen. I don't see him ever like following that Tommy route. And
me neither.
So people thinking he's gonna be a Tommy character. That ain't it. He has certain characteristics of Tommy.
I think because you know how Monet said, like, hey, you're not a college dude. You can't go on that campus. Wait till Kane, if it happens, wait till Kane meets some type of love interest that makes him go from being low-key stealth to turn into one of them GTG type of dudes.
I don't think he would ever do that, though. I don't think that's in his character's like repertoire to become that he is literally a street dude through and through. So they don't want to be flashy. I think he
besides
prefers,
his clothes, he's definitely been
exactly. He prefers like to be the guy who you fear than the guy you want to be.
Okay, we'll see. Because I the only reason I'm giving it because like he hasn't been low key with his fashion. Like he looks like he got money. Like,
hey, why do you think she said you can't go on no damn campus?
Exactly.
Look at you. Look at Drew. Drew got on a Greg Lauren coat and some khakis. He perfect. You go on campus.
Man. Another quick note. Talking about Redman, I think he's getting in groove. By episode 4, we're starting to get some of his jokes coming out of David McClain.
Method Man.
Yeah, Method Man's my bad.
Redman.
Method Man.
Hey, yes, Meth is starting to get comfortable in this role.
Yeah.
And that's the key part.
Yeah.
It was only the first episode. The first episode, he seemed uncomfortable. But it's a pilot episode. Again, we know how pilots work. Everybody tends to be uncomfortable in pilots.
Very true.
Since that first episode, his character has like fallen into the groove of who he is, and it's working really well now.
It's ironic that Method Man, first episode of him being more comfortable, is also the first episode he has his sex scene.
Hey. If anything gets you comfortable now.
Hey, once he done got hazed, and now he a full-fledged fraternity dude now. So he good to go now. So, okay, this is the question that I think we've been asking ourselves for a very, very, very long time. I'm going to display this out to everybody. And please, in the comments, let me know. How the hell does Sax have a job?
Look.
I'm almost like deflated by everyone's suspicions of him, and he got a promotion. I'm so confused, bro.
We've been asking this since season 4. Hey, some people been asking this since season 2 of how the hell Sax has a job. Like, it's making no sense at all. And what happens is, though, the people who are always brought against him have skeletons in the closet that can be used against them.
Yeah.
Like that whole Blanca Rodriguez. The moment Blanca got up there, I was expecting Sax to pull every card he has on
everything you've been saying.
Yes, everything I've been saying about her being crooked.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what I thought he would do. And like Tester is like, no, but you can't say I'm dirty. And you follow suit and did the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think the only thing that what was new to us is that her signature was also on that affidavit. So that's the only thing they kind of added to it. But I don't think that was the really big thing. The big thing is acid, and I never saw. I mean, you said it, but I actually never visualized it in a way that she did the same thing to Dre that he did. So
I have been saying it since she did it. I say she is dirty as Sax is. Ain't no difference between them two characters.
She is dirty by temptation. Sax is dirty by motivation, and that's a hard thing to prove right now. But
I was expecting the judge to harp way more on him bugging Lisa Marie. It's like the moment they talking about what happened with Tate, they just like said, well, we're just gonna forget that you put a tracking device and bugged on a minor. Like that should have been it right there, in all honesty.
Me too. I was so confused by that. I was like, oh, this is it. And then it was just like it wasn't. And I was like, okay. And Tate coming out there with the best political testimony I've ever seen in my life. I mean, if he's not a politician, I don't know what. I wasn't a big fan of it, but it had to be done in a way. I don't see what John Mock and Democratic Party plan is.
They are making the Democratic Party look horrible on this show.
Because what I don't understand is how they were at a disagreement at the little powwow that they had, and Tate was just like, I'm not testifying. They're just like, we don't care what you think. But he goes in there very confident in the strategy that they're using. So I guess the question is, were they all on the same plan, or was this ultimately Tate's plan? And this goes against what they wanted.
No. This was their plan, because their whole plan is to set up Tasha. So what they did was use Tate to basically say that Tasha's the queen pin, which we know from right now, this was never Sax's plan. This was always their plan. So they got Tate to reinforce it even more that Tasha's the queen pin. It was a smart move, 100% a smart move by them. It's just that Tate is a dickhead in this show, the way it comes across. But so it had to be done that way. And I love David's response to him as he was leaving. Like, all that line you just did, like it really worked. It fit every character that their responses would be that way.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Let me explain something to somebody, anybody that's watching this really quick. Now, we love all our fans, no matter where you from. I'm just gonna give y'all a little bit of tapping into the Black household real quick. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that comes from experience. There's two things that's undefeated. Number one is Father Time. Number two is a Black mom's memory. The way how Monet retroactively punished Diana gave me chills.
Hey, when she said, hey, and give me that other phone too, I was like, shit, I'd have been there before.
I was reaching for my phone. I was like, here you go. I was like, yo, if this ain't the most legit thing I've ever seen in my life, that is pure writing right there, because it is. I'm trying to tell you,
they are worse than elephants.
I'm trying.
They do not forget. They do not forget at all.
I am trying to tell you. I like, no jokes. All jokes aside, like that's some real shit right there. But obviously Diana was volunteering to go on campus. They said no. Drew, who we know has been very interested in going to see what's up with Tariq, and that's what you've been calling. But
from the very first episode, I told people I'm not crazy here.
Yeah.
Drew likes Tariq. I saw it in the first episode by the way he was looking at Tariq. that he likes Tariq. And people thought everything else, well, Drew just wants to be an artist. And I said, oh, unless artist is code word for something else, you are far off base with what Drew wants. So we finally get to see it on campus.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say, and not that, once he got on campus, Drew took one rock and killed two birds, because not only did he find a love interest, he found somebody that's in the same passions that he has. And I guess you can say three things. Drew got that experience of being outside of the drug game and being in class. That was an amazing scene for Drew. Before anything, him being able to be in class and the realization of like how he could really do this, being welcomed by the teacher, being accepted by somebody who was like him. It was an amazing thing. And the fact that they hooked up is whatever, but like before that, I think it's the most important thing. I know people are going to go automatically to the end result here, but like I think what's more important is that we're seeing Drew, who is probably never going to have this opportunity, have the opportunity of a lifetime to be in a college room in an art class. First of all, the status of how art classes are done. I mean, if you've ever been in one, like, it's already just like, it feels like such a welcoming thing to be part of that. And something that he probably never could have dreamed of, and getting that opportunity, meeting somebody, being accepted. Hell, he got a free, probably $3,000 course. He got a 1-day trial of it. Like, and he showed that he belonged. What's really important beyond that is that Drew's love interest or bae, whatever you want to call it, is also on the basketball team. This could be problematic at some point, because this shifts, and Monet talked about how, always put family first. You always got to come home. It's foreshadowing for something. But what could be problematic about this is, well, the exposure of his relationship.
I don't think it would come out because I don't think the basketball player's out. No, so that's not going to come out.
Yeah,
and I don't think he would go. He will put himself in that situation back on campus. I think what she's more talking about was because she did it after she saw the drawing, and it's not spoke about on the show yet. But mothers know when their kids are
100%. She
like, it's not a
it was a 5-second
secret. Yeah, it's not a secret to her. She knows. So the coming home and always protecting yourself, and every person is not like our family. I think that means every person is not going to be accepting of everything.
Yeah.
And every person is not going to have your best interest. Like, understand, like, when you fall for people, they will use you no matter what your sexuality is. Like, that's what I think. She's trying to warn him of that, and knowing that he's not Kane. He's not going to be thick-skinned. That's not going to happen.
But you understand too that when the father was out and always considered him soft, he couldn't be out. So the opportunity that he could be out now, it means, quite frankly, this is the first time he truly can be himself. So I think Monet's position has nothing to do with his sexuality. I think it has everything to do with a mother realizing that their baby is about to fall in love for the first time, and she's being completely protective about it, because she like, okay.
Well, not only that, it's a threat to the business.
Oh, I mean, obviously that's the biggest thing. But I don't even feel like that's how she approached him in the shower. I think she really went. I think that's the first time we've seen him as a true mother.
I think the business is part of her thought too, because let's just say that lifestyle is not widely accepted.
Yeah, of course.
Their line of business,
of course. I think that's the top person doesn't accept it. Of course,
exactly. So I think that's what she's more reflecting on. Like, hey, you got to be careful with this. Like, I think it was always going to be a discussion that they had to have for the show, because again, I saw it in the first episode, so I knew then it was going to be a discussion that they was going to have.
Yeah,
I like the way they framed it, of just her seeing that picture, and then her, as you said, no cussing, no yelling, soft voice. You could clearly tell she cares, and she like that's a loving moment between her and her son.
Hey, could you imagine if she went into the shower and she hit her infamous line that she's hit the first 3 episodes?
Hey, when she saw the picture, I kind of thought
I would have died, bro. I would have died.
And pull back the curtain and say, "Fuck is going on here?"
I would have died.
That's what she was gonna do. But
yeah,
I even paid attention to when they went into the art class and Tariq sat down. How Drew took a couple of pictures of him.
Me too. Me too. That wasn't for the job. It just happened to be
not for the job.
It nothing to do. It happened to be an asset for his unattended.
Spank bank. You can say it. His spank bank later. Whatever.
No. I mean, for him not doing his job, it just happens to be a casualty for the job he's supposed to do. He lucked up and was able to say, "Yeah, see, I was doing something. Here's what I had." I mean, because he didn't have much to present. I mean, in the shower, that was a clear definition of him not really being there, attentive of what's happening. So
I think him and Diana's relationship is something else we gotta pay attention to, because she knows, I think, everything about Drew.
Yeah, and we know that there may be some again, Drew character is truly trending upwards for it to be in one of the best character arc in this series, because there's a lot that's coming with this. And again, we said it, and I'm super happy that with them having inclusion and diversity in this series, something that Stars has been doing good recently. So having these dynamics right now is super important, but also they're doing it good. And I think a lot of people are going to say that this is doing justice for the LGBT community. As of right now, they're definitely setting the foundation for it to be in something super interesting. And again, I think what's going to be interesting is the idea that Drew's cousin on the basketball team and Drew's lover is going to be saying, "Hey, come to the game." And even if it is low key, at some point there's going to be something
could happen and something could come out. And
it's the same thing with Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder. Yep. When they had that little business meeting, you seen how it was just like we're talking business. No time for this. Okay, I'll just leave.
Which could lead to part of Monet's warning. Not trusting people, because if he does anything out of pocket when Drew is more focused on the business aspects of things, you can see Drew putting them in line if need be.
Yep. We got to talk about something else really important here. Now, Sax needs Riley. Now, Riley was sent. First of all, it's so predictable what Sax was going to do in that scene. There's nothing to be talking about.
The moment they showed her, you knew what she 100%.
It was the most obvious thing. But here is what I am thinking. I am thinking that we're finally about to see purpose with Braylon, because Braylon may be so clutch into flipping Riley to the idea that, first of all, I love the idea that Tariq gave Riley not even a look, because he knew that wasn't his type. I really love that.
He walked away from her
I loved it. I loved it. Right? Yep, I loved it. But Braylon channeling his Cameron, not to mention Tariq channeling his Cameron from Paid in Full, saying B after everything. Clearly,
Braylon in that pink coat, I knew exactly that's who it was.
100%.
Hey, that's the Killer Cam pink coat too.
Yeah, they clearly was watching Paid in Full inside of the dorm before they went to the party. Tariq saying B after everything was throwing me off a little bit. But so Riley, I truly think that Braylon is going to serve purpose here, and it's going to be flipping Riley to give, sort of say, intel back to Tariq and Braylon about what Sax is doing. Now, everybody's looking for concrete proof on Sax. I don't think they're going to get it with Tamika, who got served with the flowers, which is, first of all,
I think no, I wouldn't say that. I think that's going to play a much big. That could be the groundbreaker thing that hurts Sax the most. Is because Tamika, some of the stuff she can't speak on because she represented him.
Yeah, but
she was his boss at one point.
Yeah,
it's a lot of things she can speak on, and David ain't crazy. He knows how to pull it.
I see that being like the predictable trajectory, but I'm saying I'm for the will of probably reaching for the stars, or probably just different writing here. Maybe it's actually flipping Riley to get something on Sax to be concrete. That Tariq goes back to David and saying, "Yo, blah 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 blah," as another means, or maybe it's just added icing on the cake for the Tamika thing. Like, I'm just thinking that Riley, as we clearly see, is going to be some type of a character that we're going to get for more than just this cameo, this episode. I think it just makes sense because Braylon doesn't really do anything right now. He doesn't add to the show, but this will
friend with money.
Yep, but this will, and not to mention the way how Braylon held his own, which I didn't even think Braylon could fight, but Braylon held his own, and because of what Braylon's last name means to that campus, and the fact that
dude off immediately
out of there, and the way how Braylon has connects, this is all Riley wants. I mean, didn't Riley say that her connect wasn't?
I could see her overdosing and some other stuff here. Like, I can see this is going down, this leading Cooper down a road that's going to lead to his self-destruction. Because if something happens to his niece and he's the reason it happened,
it's going to be something. It's definitely going to be something for sure. So I am definitely curious to see now what happens with Braylon and Riley going forward. More important, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Riley. Really quick question. In the terms of James St. Patrick's will, does everybody know the terms of that? Is that like public knowledge? No, right?
It shouldn't be.
So why, when they keep saying they don't know how Tariq is getting money, how come no one is suggesting the idea that maybe he got inheritance? How is that not the first thing that comes to mind? I don't understand that. I don't think he's verbalizing the idea that he's going to school to get his inheritance. Tasha's still not saying that.
Is it because of Dave? No. I think Tasha did tell David that none of them have any money right now. And Tariq said that. I think in the first episode he told David that.
Okay, but why is Sax still the one inquiring how he's getting paid?
I think Sax would know. Now Sax would know James's will.
That's a very to me, that right in my notes, that is the biggest day. How I have nothing to add to that. I wasn't sure the positioning of how, like, why isn't no one assuming
now wills aren't private, and James is technically considered a public figure.
Yeah.
So there's no telling. And then with the way they have the Democratic committee being evil, it's no telling how much information they already have.
Clear it up. Yeah. They got time. Clear that up. Now, Tariq and Diana, we knew this was going to happen eventually. Tariq getting the kiss. I guess it's safe to say that Monet can't trust none of her kids now.
Hey, she already knew she couldn't trust Diana. You saw she took the phone.
Yeah.
She knew. She already knew she couldn't trust her.
The retroactive punishment, that draw hurt my soul, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, it is nothing worse than when you have a bad progress report and you get yelled at then, and you thinking it's good because you still got your game system, you going to hang out go outside with your friends, but let it be like 2 days later, they're like, wait, what was that progress? Nah, give me your system. You ain't going outside. Like, bro, I went 2 days of it being good. Like, what happened? Like,
that's the waiting period.
Yeah, it's boiling up.
Yeah, like, you got to at least give me a week. If I can get past a week, I'm good. A couple of days though, nope, that memory hit right back all over again. The moment I ask for something. But I think this whole thing with her kids and having trust, I don't think it's a trust thing. I think it's a control thing that she's struggling with right now. Of maintaining control over all her kids. Because Diana is clearly like rebelling at all costs. Drew is attempting to live a certain life. He want not his lifestyle, but his life. Like, he wants to step outside the box that she's attempting to put him in. And now we see Kane's trying to do the same thing. He wants to step outside the box. And eventually, I think that look he gave her when she laid down the rules to him tells me that, like, it ain't gonna last much longer.
Yeah. You're not lying. Okay. I know I focused a lot on Jabari earlier in this episode, and I'm here. I'm here to come back to it. Now, the Jabari and Carrie situation inside of his office. First of all, this fuckboy got He's 4 for 4 in sex scenes. 4 episodes, 4 sex scenes.
You can't blame him for this one. This ain't got shit to do with him.
I know. I'm just saying, like, this was so predictable. When I said that he was going to go the whole season getting them, he's 4 for 4 right now. Like, the dude is Steph Curry from the 3-point line. He can't miss. But I am so thoroughly confused, and I need the comments to go crazy on this one. How the hell does Carrie get completely degraded, and then she decides to sleep with him?
Remember what the therapist said?
I was just going to say, this is a contradictory to what her therapist said.
But her therapist said, don't be around him because he's not good for you, and he makes you bend and break. And she fell right for it all over again.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I was right about that. Yeah, completely contradictory to, completely on par with what the therapist said, but completely contradictory to the advice that the therapist gave. I mean, I have no clue. How does that happen?
How she tried to take control of the situation, thinking it gave her power, and not understanding you literally gave up your power to him by still having sex with him, which your therapist told you is not a good idea for you to have sex with him at all.
So tired of this dude, bro. Like,
oh man, you just don't like Jabari. Look here.
I'm so tired of this dude.
He is a predator. He is all this other stuff, but for his situation with Curry, that's not his fault.
That was not
her.
That was not, definitely not. But like he just completely degraded her, and she just completely I don't know. And on top of that too,
she was trying to degrade him too.
Yeah,
but I think that's their relationship.
I was gonna say too, he did not deny any of the claims that she threw at him too.
Not a single one of them, because he knows who he is.
Yeah,
and she's still trying to grapple and fight with her feelings for him.
Yeah,
he knows it and he uses it, but that's on her. Don't put yourself in that situation. Curry right now is the dumbest professor humanly possible. Like she's made nothing but bad decisions on this show.
Absolutely.
The only good decision she did was getting Tariq in the program, and then that wasn't actually a smart decision from a professor standpoint.
Yeah. And a lot of people have been talking, would there ever be a thing between her and Tariq? I don't see that happening now.
It better not be. That is nasty.
Yeah.
Tariq is supposed to be 17 on the show. Like, why would there be something between her and Tariq? You people are sick. All you sick people out there.
Yeah.
All you sick people out there. Y'all literally jumped down Jada Pinkett Smith's throat for having sex with another grown man because of their age difference. And you are pushing a professor to have sex with a 17-year-old. Tariq ain't getting no sex scene on Power. Understand that. No.
Not at all. But as we'll talk about in a quick second, Tariq's birthday is coming up in a week or two, so he will be 18. So I don't know, man. Maybe by episode 9, Tariq gonna lay some cheeks, man.
I don't need no. Please, people of Power, no sex episode with Tariq. We're good. We're good.
But as we wrap this episode up really quick, who the hell do the St. Patricks think they are? You got Tasha in jail trying to bulk up. Tasha doing push-ups. Almost lost my mind. Almost lost. Whoever is writing for Tasha in particular is losing their mind right now.
Oh man, I was wondering why she was doing push-ups.
And then Tariq weighing his options with the women. Tariq turned into a player. Like
I knew that part was going to happen, but and his speech to Lauren was perfect.
It's 100%.
I understand you have to play the game.
Yeah,
and we're at the age where we all have options. That's the way you let a woman know I'm not tripping off of your situation. I got my own situation. If we happen to hook up, hey, it's all good. If not, there's others out there. You ain't the only one. Like it's a nice scene. I like that scene between them two because it kind of started off where you thought a separation could happen, and then we came over there to show it. Yeah,
you wrote it back in. Yeah.
Hey, let's get it right. Your man called me Jamal. It's cool.
I ain't had nothing to say, but it is what it is. Yeah, you're right about that. 100%. All right. So next week is the mid-season. They didn't say finale, but just mid-season. So episode 5 is next week. We got a little bit of the preview that really didn't do anything for me besides
nothing. It gave you nothing, and that means
there's a lot going on.
Episode.
Yep. We do know that Tariq, again, birthday is coming up in a week or two. Wonder what we're going to get with that. And then we got Tariq and Braylon, who he's pretty much categorizing the Monet and the family, classifying them by chess pieces. So he's showing how the system works. So that seems like he's trying to get Braylon a little more involved with what's happening. And I think that has a lot to do with them because they don't have a campus threat no more now. So they don't got nothing to do but to legitimately build trust with each other. So that's going to be interesting.
The money is coming in so fast.
It's good.
You have to let him know this is the structure of this business.
Yep. But folks, definitely let us know what you thought about tonight's episode. It's been a crazy episode. Episode 4, The Prince. Oh, this was a fun episode to break down. Obviously, we're back each and every episode covering Power Book 2. We'll be back next week for episode 5. But yes, definitely let us know in the comments what you thought about this episode. What theories do you have of your own? And any other things that you may want us to discuss. We definitely appreciate the love and support of our reviews. And like I said, we'll be back next week to cover episode 5. Thank you for watching, folks. Y'all have a good one.